Kiki came to me with 3 broken ribs, undernourished. She was very small for her age. Her skin was raw from poor care. Over time, I learned things like she was born 4 weeks early. She only weighed 5 pounds at birth. That she sustained physical abuse, they thought probably not from her mom, but from another adult in the house. You had to be very careful of how fast you picked her up. If you went too fast, she would startle and cry.
She's always been there for me, even through like my worst times, through grade school and middle school.
Middle school was a lot harder for Kiki. In middle school, you're expected to sit, you're expected to stand and walk in line, you're expected to pretty much do what the teachers tell you to do and don't ask questions. And that's not Kiki at all. When she would have these behaviors, it would be very difficult to get teachers on board with learning why and spending time finding that out.
If you want a kid to listen to you when something's going on, I feel like they need to understand where that kid is coming from, because every kid is different.
Children are learning at all times, so they are learning from the experiences they have, both in their environment and from the relationships that they have. They learn if they can control their environment, that they can expect their needs to be taken care of, that people are generally good and safe and will help them. For kids that have a trauma history like Kiki's, those messages very early on were completely different. They were that adults were not safe, that they were a cause of pain. Her needs were irrelevant to what was going on. No matter how hungry she was, no matter how wet she was, no matter how cold she was, there wasn't going to be somebody necessarily fixing that for her. Understanding that fundamental template is set very early on and impacted over and over again by the experiences that someone has helps to draw some clarity around what is happening now and what we can do about it going forward, because we understand where she's been.
When I got Kiki, I too thought, oh, she's so young, I'll be able to love her and it'll all melt away. I quickly realized that that was not the case, and I wish all parents, and not even just all parents, but all people who work with children that have been through trauma, understood that, so that you could really understand where that child was all the time. The foundation of when she was young and as an infant not having her needs met continues to this day to form the reactions that she has. The fact that we were able to connect with such good, solid foundation and information gave us not only tools of what to do, but understanding her gives us hope for every day in her whole future.
I started school at Loyola University, New Orleans. I'm a criminal justice major now and minoring in political science. Education's a big one for me just because I did struggle so much throughout grade school, throughout high school, and going into college, and now almost going into my second semester. I don't think I would be where I'm at without the advocacy of my mom, just because I did struggle so much in grade school. And throughout high school, I kind of flourished. I ended up having a 4.0 when I graduated. And then this year I ended my first semester with a 3.8. So it's I don't think I'd be there without the help of my mom. During COVID, I found new hobbies, things to just keep myself entertained without feeling like I had to go out places. I worked out a ton. I just kind of focused on myself. It was kind of just a nice reevaluation period to see where I wanted to get myself and where I was.
I think COVID has impacted me, actually. I think it's matured me in a way that haven't matured in a long time. A couple years ago, I was just having a lot of trouble with life. I wasn't really being me, the true me. But I feel like COVID gave me a time to sit back and realize what was going on and figure out a way to fix it, rather than having to be around a whole bunch of people and just act like everything was okay.
I can remember when they were little, I really enjoyed being with them. And I kept thinking, oh, I don't want them to grow up. I don't want them to grow up. I want them to stay little because I don't know what I'm going to do with teenagers in my house. But I have thoroughly enjoyed having teenagers, these teenagers. They're good kids. They care about other people. So it's fun for me to watch them. I've always enjoyed any kind of milestone that they hit. One of the things that has helped me as a parent be an advocate for both of them was the support that I got at Family Forward, and having support both for me to have a sounding board to, come to them and say, I don't know kind of what to do here. What are my options? What can I say? What can I not say? What's going on with my kid? But also having somebody that would, come with me to some of the harder meetings, that especially when she was in middle school, because that was a really rough time for her. But then it also gave me the ability to kind of know how to stand up and say, okay, enough, this is what my kid needs. And I know that's not the traditional way that we do things in school, but my kid needs something less traditional because of all of the traumas that they've both been through.
I just feel like she helped me through life in general. I feel like I wouldn't have any other good experiences in life if I wouldn't have had her in my life. If I wasn't adopted, I feel like it'd be different.
Knowing that Miss Rachel was there constantly sticking up for me and advocating for me made me feel really good and feel appreciated when sometimes those teachers didn't feel the same way.
I can remember coming into her office after a more than miserable meeting or encounter with Kiki, because Kiki really struggled at that time. She struggled in school, but she struggled behaviorally at home too, and it was really hard. And Rachel was always there. She used to always tell me that, I know it's really hard, but she's gonna make an amazing adult. And I've said that to her before. I was like, Miss Rachel was right. We talk about that a lot.